Aloha, welcome to Kulāiwi. I'm Ekela Kani'aupi Crozier, and I'm going to be your kumu for today's lesson. How many of you have been practicing this week saying make makeau ika soda, ika kola waka, make makeau ika Pepsi? You know, have you been practicing this make jazz and using make au, make oi, make o Linda, make o Keola, something, whatever it is that you want. I kapua, the flower. I puke, the book. Or have you been practicing it with the action word and saying make au e hele ika store, ika hale ku ai. Make au e ai, ika poi. Have you been saying that? Have you been using, instead of saying I want to go to the bathroom, saying make au e hele ika lumi ho'opau pilikia? We've had, in fact, I had a couple of questions on the info line about that. Why did we use lumi ho'opau pilikia? Well, you know, before it was a lua. A lua was just a hole, yeah, that was dug out. That was in the past. Now we go to the lumi, a room, ho'opau, to finish pilikia all our problems. Okay, so that's why now we call it a lumi ho'opau pilikia. Today's vignette includes ke alohi. Ke alohi is our littlest mo'opuna. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ahui ho.
Moi pono oe e ke alohi. He la nui ka la apopo.
Ai, pi hoi hoi au I ka la mua o ke kula. O vai ke kumu?
O miki ke aloha kona inoa. E hia moi oe.
Ai e tutu, tutu.
Ai. E hia moi. Ia hako make.
Pehea ke kula?
O lea nui na mea ho ma ke kula. E hia moi oe.
A ka.
Ke alohi. E hia moi.
Ai tutu, ia moe au.
Ai kai e pani I ko maumaka.
E, o wai ko inoa.
He aha, o ke alohi ko u inoa. O lelo oe.
Ai, o lelo au I nā keiki. Make au I nā keiki. Hau oli nā keiki.
Pololi oe. Ai au I ka ia me ka poe. Ai o I ka ia.
A ole, ono au I ke kalo a me ka lau ai.
Ai au I ke kalo. Hele mai, hanai wa ia oe. Noho oe ma ke kula.
I ka la, noho au ma ke kula. A ka, I ka pō, hoi au I ka hale me nā keiki. Make au e hele I kou hale I ke ia pō. Hiki no?
Ai, hiki no. A ka, pehea ko ututu. Huhu paha oia. Ano nui oe. A ka, hanai mau ko ututu iau I ke kalo. Make oe ke kalo. Ha'awi wau ia oe ke kalo.
Ai, hiki no. Hau oli oe ma ke kula?
Ano hau oli au.
Mai hopo. Olu o Miki Kalewa. E leo nā keiki. Lea ka hana a mai ka iloa ke kula.
Make oe I ke kalolo uila. E ho ike mai kalolo uila.
E hele mai. Pa'ani nā keiki me ke ia. Helu a kākau nā keiki I nā mo'olelo.
O ike au, make nui au I ke kula.
She says things like, pi hoi hoi au I ka la mua o ke kula. Pi hoi hoi au. Can you say that with me? Pi hoi hoi. No, that was my ka'e. Remember I told you, you're never wrong. Pi hoi hoi means excited. You know, excited, good kind of excited, not bad kind of excited. And a little worry too, yeah? Pi hoi hoi. Let's take a look at how she used that, okay? Pi hoi hoi yo. Pi hoi hoi yo. Yeah? You know this pattern. Same pattern that we use to say, hau'oli na keiki. Okay? Hau'oli na keiki. Recognize the word hau'oli? Na keiki. Na is the word for the. But because we already saw the word ka and ke for the, now na is a little different in that it's the when the word is plural. Okay? So in this case, this says the children. Okay? The children are what? Do you remember what this word meant? Hau'oli? Yes, it meant happy. The children are happy. Hau'oli na keiki. You say that with me? Hau'oli na keiki. Waikai. How about if you wanted to say the women are happy? Are you thinking? Hau'oli na vahine. Waikai. Let's try it again. Hau'oli na vahine. How about the men are happy? Hau'oli na kane, mai kae. Okay, let's try that again. The women are happy? Hau'oli na vahine, mai kae. Okay, let's take a look at other things that we could say using the same pattern. Hau'oli na keiki, right? This is what the rabbit tells Ke'alohi when she asks, how's school? Yeah, what's school like? And he says, hau'oli na keiki. And then when he asks if he can go home with her, and that's what he asked her, she said, huhu paha o tutu, yeah? Maybe tutu will be angry, okay? Let's look at this word, huhu, yeah? Huhu. Kahako is only over the second u, so it's not huhu, it's huhu. And this paha is what makes it maybe. Okay, maybe. Maybe tutu might get angry, okay? Huhu paha o tutu. Here's another one. This is a good one. Ano nui oi. And she tells him why she might get a little upset. Because ano nui oi. Remember what nui was? Big. And you know oi, right? But ano is kind of, okay? Ano nui oi. Yeah? Like, ano li'i oi. Yeah? Ano pupuka oi. Yeah? Kind of ugly. Ano nani oi. You're kind of pretty. Ano akamaiyo. I'm kind of smart. Ano lolovo. I'm kind of lolo. Yeah? I'm not going to say it. I'm kind of lolo. Okay? But ano, you put ano in front of that descriptive word and it makes it kind of, sort of, okay? So like if I ask you, pehe oi, and you don't really feel mai ka'i, and you want to tell me, kind of mai ka'i, ano mai ka'i au, okay? And I could ask you, oh, ano mai ka'i oi? You say, ai, ano mai ka'i au, okay? And if you're sick, yeah, but you're not really sick, you're just kind of sick, ano o ma'i. Okay, remember that word, o ma'i? No, that's back for number 1. Let's try that together. Ano o ma'i. Mai ka'i. How about if I'm kind of tired? Do you remember that word? Okay, pull it up. Think about what that was. Ano ma luhi. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. Ask someone are you kind of tired? Did you say, ano ma luhi oi? Yeah, you hear the difference in the statement and the question? Once again, it peaks in the middle and drops at the end in a question. Nothing changes. The structure of the sentence doesn't change, just your voice, okay? So if you're asking that question, ano ma luhi oi? Ano ma luhi oi? And the person can respond, ole, ano mai ka'iyo. Okay? So let's go on. That's how we would use the word ano. So here we have ano hau'olio. Okay? Ano hau'olio. Okay. If you notice, paha goes behind the descriptive word. Okay, so like huhu paha o tutu. Nani paha oya. Okay, oi. What's other kind of words? O mai paha kekeiki. Okay, that paha puts a little doubt in it. Maybe, perhaps. Okay. Okay, now we come into the exciting part of Hawaiian language, because I know at this point all you can say is what's your name, where are you from, and answer the questions pehea, how you. Okay. Now today, hopefully, I'll give you a little more and you can actually use some verbs, okay, some action words. When Ke'alohi walks into the room, she sees, she looks at the rabbit, and she walks on, kind of strange looking big red rabbit sitting there. And then she hears the rabbit talk, and she turns around and she says, "Olelo oi, olelo oi." You talk? Olelo. Olelo. Can you say that with me? Olelo means to speak or to talk. Okay? So she looks at the rabbit and she says, "Olelo oi." And the rabbit goes, "Ai, olelo au." Okay? See the use? Easy, easy, easy. Just like how you said mai ka'iau. Now we're going to use an action word in the same place as mai ka'i and use olelo. Okay? So she says, "Olelo oi." And the lapaki, the rabbit, says, "I, olelo au." Okay? Let's take a look at how that's done. Olelo oi, I, olelo au. Okay? We could change the verb. You see this? Olelo, we can change that. Instead of do you talk, do you exercise? Okay? Ho'oi kaika kino oi. And you may be thinking, oh, that's a long word. How do you say that? Take your time. Ho'oi kaika kino oi. Ho'oi kaika kino oi. Yeah? Ho'oi kaika. Maybe some of you recognize there's a little root word here that you may recognize, and that's the word ikaika. Okay? So it says, Ho'oi kaika kino oi. Do you make your body strong? Okay? Ikaika, strong. So do you exercise? And you can respond, I, ho'oi kaika kino au. Okay? Let's change the verb again to read. Okay? And let's ask, do you read? Now, I'm going to give you the word, and I want you to try and see how you would say it, okay? The word for read is helu helu. Ask someone, do you read? How many of you said helu helu oi? If you did, pa'ilima, give yourselves a hand because you got it right. If you didn't, that's okay. We'll practice now, okay? Say, helu helu oi. Helu helu oi. And if you do read, what do you say? Did you say I? Helu helu au. Mai ka'e. Okay? Let's take a look at that. Okay. Helu helu oi. I. Helu helu au. So you see, we can change these verbs. We don't always want to ask somebody, do they read, or do they exercise, or do they speak? Sometimes we want to ask them, do you sing? Yeah? In that case, we could change helu helu to himeni. Okay? Himeni oi, I. Himeni au. Okay? Now I know you may be thinking, oh, all I can say is I and you, and I can only talk to one person, but I cannot talk about anybody. We're going to learn the word for he, she, or it. Okay? And so now we don't only have to say things about I or you, but now we can say something about him or her or it, okay? And the word for that is oya. So if I wanted to say, he speaks, I can say, olelo oya. He reads, helu helu oya. He exercises, ho'oi kaika kino oya. Okay? Oya. 2 words. O-ya. Okay? Can you say that with me? Let's try it. Olelo oya. Mai ka'e. How about helu helu oya? Mai ka'e. How about ho'owi kaika kino oia? Mai kae. Okay? Now hopefully you're not just repeating, but you understand what you're saying. Okay? These sentences, these structures that we're using today, have no tense. So it's not like he ate or they're eating or they will eat. Okay? It's only something they do all the time. Okay? So, you speak. Okay? How about, well, why don't you try that? You speak. Olelo oi, maikai. You speak Hawaiian. Anybody out there kind of got the answer for that one? Olelo Hawai'i oi. Olelo Hawai'i oi. Maikai. Okay? How about if you wanted to say, yeah, I speak Hawaiian. Okay? I. Olelo Hawai'i o. Okay? Try it again. Let me ask you. Olelo Hawai'i oi. Come on, I know there's families out there going, I, Olelo Hawai'i. That's right, now you can say that. I, Olelo Hawai'i. I speak Hawaiian, okay? It doesn't matter that you're not fluent, you can speak a little bit. That means you can speak, okay? How about, helu helu oi? Maikai. Did you say I? Helu helu o. Okay? How about those of you who aerobicize every morning? Huh? What if I ask you, ho'i kaika kino oi? And you can say, I, ho'oi kaika kino au. Mai kae. Okay, let's take a look at using oia. Okay? Olelo Hawai'i oia. Olelo Hawai'i oia. I, olelo Hawai'i oia. Okay? You remember how when we use o, oi, and o, oi changed to o in the answer, right? If I said, Olelo Hawai'i oi, you responded, I, Olelo Hawai'i o. But in the question, Olelo Hawai'i oia, does he speak Hawaiian? Does she speak Hawaiian? The response is, I, Olelo Hawai'i oia. Yeah, he speaks Hawaiian. Or yeah, she speaks Hawaiian. Okay? You see how easy that is? Now what if it's not Hawaiian that she speaks and she speaks Japanese? Kepani. Olelo kepani oia. I, olelo kepani oia. Okay? Kepani, what if he speaks Portuguese? Olelo pukiki oia. I, olelo pukiki oia. Okay? So we could say almost anything. How about Chinese? Olelo pake oia. I, olelo pake oia. Okay? There's so many things we can put in this place because maybe we don't all speak Hawaiian. Right? What if you want to ask if he speaks English? Does he speak English? Olelo haole oia. Now, some people will say, wait a minute. Now, I don't think the word is haole. Some of us use the word haole and some of us use the word pelekania. Okay? Or pelekane. Olelo pelekane oia. Okay? Pelekane, you're probably wondering, where did that come from? Pelekane comes from the word Britain, okay? How many of you knew, for the sake of some history, some interest, that Beretania, you know how we all call it Beretania Street, that's really a Hawaiian word? And you're all sitting there going, no, that's not, got B, got T, got R. Well, they made it to sound Hawaiian. So Britain Beretania, it's supposed to be Beretania, comes from Britain, Beretania. Yeah, you knew it sounded the same, okay? But so we should all really be saying on Beretania Street. And everyone would go, where is that? Okay? But that's the word for English, okay? So the B turned to P, the R to L, T to K, and we got Pelekania, okay? Let me write that down so that you can see that we could either say Pelekane, or we could say pelekania, okay, instead of using olelo haole. Okay, let's take a look at this so you can see it. Okay, pelekane or pelekania. So you could say olelo pelekania oia or olelo haole oia. Okay, any one of them will be fine. Okay, moving right along. What if we want to change the verb? Okay, we used olelo, helu helu, we used ho'oikaika kino, right? We could use ai oia, right? Does he eat? Yeah. Maybe you see a skinny person. Wow, ai oia? Does he eat? Yeah, he's ai oia. Aole nui. Yeah, not much. Okay, let's change the verb to do you live at school? And that's what Kealohi asked the lapaki. Do you live at school? Okay, and she said, Noho oi ike kula. Noho oi ike kula. Yeah? Noho oi ike kula. Now this is the new part. Yeah? At school. Remember I talked about this K, using the K for words that begin with K, A, E, and O. Okay? So in this case, we're going to say ike kula. Noho oi ike kula. Do you live at school? And the response is I. Noho au ike kula. Okay? I. Noho au ike kula. So, what's the answer? What did the rabbit answer? How many of you got that? Did you say, he said, yes, I live at school. Mai kai. And she asks him, after that, ai oi ike kalo. How many of you pretty much got the idea that this is, do you eat taro? Yeah, because now he wants to go home with her. And so she wants to know what he eats because she got to feed him and she don't want Tutu to get upset, you know. So she asks him, ai oi ike kalo? And he says, I think it's a wahine lapaki, okay? But she says, ai yo ike kalo. Ai yo ike kalo. Okay? Mai kai. Okay. What if he says, I eat fish and poi? Okay? Are we thinking? Are the wheels turning? Now remember, when he said, I eat taro, it was, Aio ike kalo. Now, let's try, I eat fish and poi. Do you remember the word for fish? I'a. I'a. We had that last week. I'a. I okina a. Okay? I'a. So, okay, how many of you said, Aiel ika i'a, ame ka poi? Remember ame? That was and? Yeah? So, Aiel ika i'a, ame ka poi. What if you wanted to ask someone, do you eat fish and poi? Take your time. Take your time. Think about it. Ai oi ika i'a, ame ka poi? Remember, do you hear me saying kai'a? Yeah, not ka'i'a, because there's no okina before the e. So it flows right into the ka. Kai'a ame kapoi. Ai oi I kai'a ame kapoi? Mai kai. And that person can answer, yes, I eat fish and poi. And how would they say that? Aiel I kai'a ame kapoi. Or what if you walking through the line, okay, at a luau, you know how you usually do, you got your plate, and you walk you through the line, and the person in the line says, ai oi ika poke, and you don't eat poke, but your brother does. What can you say then? O aole, aka, yeah, aka is but. You heard Kealohi say, aka, yeah, but, and then she says, tutu might get angry. Huhu paha o tutu, okay? But that aka is a good word. It means but. Aole, aka, ai oia ika poke. Yeah, and you point to oya, okay? You point to oya somewhere. Who's oya in your house? Maybe only you and the dog watching. Point to the dog, okay? You say oya, okay? Ai oya ika dog food, okay? Ai oya ika mea ai ilio. How's that? Okay? That way you can include everybody in your house to speak Hawaiian. All right? So oya is he, she, or it. So you can just point out to somebody who's oya. Okay? You can say, ai oya ika poke. Mai kai. Okay? Let's take a look at that line. Ai au ikai'a ame kapoi. Okay, here we have Aiau ikai'a amekapoi. What if we want to change this? We did that. We had Aiau ikapoke. Aiau ika pipi. Okay. What if we wanted to say he reads the book? Okay. Helu helu oya ikapuke. Okay. Helu helu oya ikapuke. Mai ka'e. Okay. Anybody knows what that means? I just told you, so you should know. Okay, he reads the book. Helu helu oya ikapuke. Mai ka'i. Okay. Now, today's value that we've seen here is Kuleana. Okay, Kuleana is responsibility. Okay. Now we may wonder what in this vignette had to do with Kuleana. Okay, and sometimes I think we don't know. That going to school is part of our Kuleana, okay? It's part of our responsibility, part of our thing to do, all right? So, we saw Kealohi go to school today, and it was her Kuleana to do this, okay? And so the Lapaki tells her his Kuleana, yeah? His Kuleana is to talk to children, but he only talks to children. He doesn't talk to anybody else. He says, Olelo wau ina keiki. Okay? Remember, now I think you're going to be able to understand a lot more in that vignette this time. Okay? But Kuleana is our value for today. It means responsibility. I need to review one thing with you. That is the different times of the day, because we did have kakahiaka, avakea, awinala, and ahiahi. But what we didn't know is how to use it with this pattern, okay? So if you want to say, I wake up in the morning, okay? We can say now, alau, ala is the word for wake up. Alau I ke kakahiaka. Okay? All right, just a minute. Okay. Have to squeeze kakahiaka in there. But let's take a look, okay? It says, Alau ike kakahiaka. I wake up in the morning. Okay, and then what's the next thing that you might do? Okay, let's try. I wash my face. Holoi. Now, you go before I write it, okay? You say it before I write it. Holoi. What's the next word? Maikai. Au. I. Okay, this E you just need to put it in, okay? Holoyel E, my face. Remember the word for my? Ko'u. Okay? Ko'u maka. Okay? Holoyel I ko'u maka. Okay, how about what comes next? I brush my teeth. How's that? The word for brush is palaki. So, if the word for brush is palaki and the word for teeth is niho, how would you say, I brush my teeth? Are you thinking? Are you saying it? One more time, I'm going to tell you again. The word for brush is palaki and the word for teeth is niho. Okay? Have you gotten it? Have you gotten it? Palakiel I ko'u niho. Mai ka'i. Okay? I hope that's what you said. Okay? Palakiel I ko'u niho. I brush my teeth. Now, how do we add the time part on? Let's go back to looking at the first line. We take this and we just attach it. Holoiel I ko'u maka ike kakahiaka. Palakiel I ko'u niho ike kakahiaka. What if we don't brush our teeth in the morning and by the time we wake up, it's avakea? We could say, Holoia o kalamain, palakiel I ko'u niho I ke avakea. And you see how I used ke? Because this word began with a. I ke avakea. Okay? What if we don't wake up until afternoon? Okay, some of us are so lucky if we can wake up in the afternoon, okay? So we say, Alau I ka awina la. Okay? Alau I ka awina la. All right? Now you're saying, well, how can we use ka? Because this word began with a. It began with the okina. And that's why we use ka. Okay? Ika awina la. How's that? Okay, so I'm going to give you some time now to look at that situation, and you'll have a couple of minutes to figure out what are some of the things that you could say. Now, I think you're going to need your dictionary because I didn't give you all the words that you could use. So let's see if you can just try it. Okay, even if you don't know the word. Say like you didn't know the word for I brush my teeth. You could say, brush au iko'u teeth. Okay? If that's what you need to do, then do it. But sit back, take a look at this, and I'll see you as soon as you're po, okay? Ahui ho. Aloha, welcome back. How was that? Wamaika ikila? Huh? Did you try to do all those different things that you do morning, noon, and evening? Well, I hope so, and I hope it wasn't that hard. Now, while we were on break, we had a call, and this call had asked us about the use of the word tutu for grandparent. When we call tutu, it's like how we call grandma, and not grandmother. Or even like when we call our father's daddy instead of father. Yeah, it's our endearing term for our kupuna. And kupuna actually, the first part, the tutu, comes from the word kupuna. That ku in kupuna is reduplicated twice. And so I know that there are some people who still call their kupuna kuku instead of tutu, but like I said before, that K's were T's at one time, and that kupuna was once tupuna. And in fact, in other places of Polynesia, they have words like tipuna. And so we took the first syllable, instead of saying kupuna over again, and just reduplicated it, and now it's tutu. All right. Since we've gone through all of those simple verbs, and we've kind of filled up the vignette with these things, I want you to watch it again. And this time, listen for the conversation between the lapaki and Kealohi. Okay? She asks, the lapaki says, Maki makiao e hele I kou hale. Yeah? Now, we had that last week What was that? Makimakiao e hele I kou hale. And that's when, Kealohi is kind of excited, like, yeah, okay, but, huhu paha o tutu, ano nui oe. Yeah, so follow that part along. And then Kealohi says that she would like to see the lolowila. The lolowila is the computer, okay? Makimakiao e ike I ka lolowila, okay? Okay, ahui ho.
Moi pono oe e ke alohi. He la nui ka la apopo.
Ai, pi hoi hoi au I ka la mua o ke kula. O vai ke kumu.
O miki ke aloha kona inoa. E hia moi oe.
Ai e tutu, tutu.
Ai. E hia moi. Ia hako make make.
Pehea ke kula.
O lea lea nui na mea ho ma ke kula. E hia moi oe.
A ka.
Ke alohi. E hia moi.
Ai tutu, ia moia.
Nei kai, e pani I ko maumaka.
E, o wai ko inoa.
He aha, o ke alohi ko u inoa. O lelo oe.
Ai, o lelo au I nā keiki. Make au I nā keiki. Hau oli nā keiki.
Pololi oe. Ai au I kai a me ka poe. Ai o I kai a.
A ole, ono au I ke kalo a me ka lau ai.
Ai au I ke kalo. Hele mai, hanai wa ia oe. Noho oe ma ke kula.
I ka la, noho au ma ke kula. A ka I ka pō, ho'i au I ka hale me nā keiki. Make au e hele I kou hale I keia pō. Hiki no?
Ai, hiki no. A ka. Pehea ko o tutu. Huhu paha oia. Ano nui oe. A ka. Hanai mau ko o tutu iau I ke kalo. Make oe ke kalo. Ha'awi wau ia oe ke kalo.
Ai, hiki no. Hau oli oe ma ke kula?
Ano hau oli au.
Mai hopo. Olu o Miki Kalewa. E leo nā keiki. Lea ka hana a mai ka iloa ke kula.
Make oe I ke kalolo uila. E ho ike mai kalolo uila.
E hele mai. Pa'ani nā keiki me ke ia. Helu a kākau nā keiki I nā mo'olelo.
O ike au. Make nui au I ke kula.
Don't you wish all of our keikis said, make nui au I ke kula? Nui, I really like kula, school, yeah? So was that better? Did you have a better understanding of what was being said? Well, mai kae, okay? Let's take a phone call now. And say aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, pehe oi.
Ano mai ka ia, mahalo.
O mai kae, oi ko inoa.
O lei ko uinoa.
Aloha lei, and no hea mai oi.
No Sunset Beach, mai au.
Aloha. How can I help you?
I had a question because in the vignette,
Yes.
Sue had told Kealohi that she wanted her to close her eyes, so she said, Pani I ko umau maka.
I kou mau maka.
Right. I ko mau maka. The mau was a plural for the maka, right?
Yes.
And earlier when we were talking about brushing our teeth, we said palakiao I
Ko uniho. Right.
You said ko umau niho.
You can.
Plural.
You can, but it's kind of understood that you're going to brush more than one tooth.
Right.
So you can leave the mau out. And right now, we're not talking about the mo only because we don't want to confuse too many people. Because I just taught na. And so we don't want to get confused between na and mo.
Okay, so you can just assume that when you're talking about things like that, you can just
You could leave it out.
leave it out.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, mahalo. Ahui hole. Mahalo for calling. Okay. I'd like to go over some of the new vocab and then wrap it up, okay? Let's take a look at some of the new words. Well, actually, ai isn't that new. We've had that before, and hau'oli we've had. But ano. Remember the ano that you can put it in front of something and it means kind of, sort of, okay? Ai, ano, hau'oli. Can you say that with me? Ai, ano, hau'oli. Mai kae. About the word for read. Helu, helu. Helu, helu. Mai kae. About the word for exercise. Ho'oi kaika kino. Ho'oi kaika kino. Mai kae. About huhu. Huhu. I. Go over the last u, so it's a little longer, okay? Huhu. Mai kae. Hikino. Okay? We have the different things that we can eat. Kai'a, kai'a, kapoi, kapuke. Ikino, mai kae. Okay. Kekalo, kekalo, the taro. Yeah, taro. See the word taro here? K is for T and L is for R, and you got kalo, okay? Noho. Now, noho can be two things. It can be either chair or it can mean to sit. So you can tell someone, noho oi iko noho. Sit in your chair. Sit in your big chair. Noho oi iko noho nui. Okay? Waikai. Noho oi iko noho nui. Nui is opposite of li'i li'i. Okay? Nui is big. All right? Nui. Mai ka'i. Okay? How about the word for speak was olelo. Olelo. Okay? And paha, do you remember what paha was? Remember when Ke'aloi said, huhu paha o tutu, yeah? Maybe, perhaps, okay? And we use that in a very special way. You can't use it by itself. It always has to go with something. So you have to say something like, huhu paha o tutu, okay? Pi hoi hoi. Pi hoi hoi paha o Ke'alohi. Well, no, it wasn't paha. She was definitely pi hoi hoi. Okay? Pi hoi hoi, excited. Okay? Excited, worried, but good kind. Okay. Hopefully, with this much information, you'll be able to talk story with somebody now. And you'll be able to go a little further than just saying, hi, how you, what's your name, where you from, or asking what they want. Now you can say what you do and what someone else does. Remember the word was oya. That's our new pronoun for today, is oya, okay? So you wanted to say, he watches the movie. Nana oya ike ki'i oni oni. Nana, to look or watch, okay? Nana oya ike ki'i oni oni. I'd like to give you my mahalo and wish you a very happy aloha week. And we'll see you next week. Ahui ho kako. Aloha.